Hello, my name is Taylor Stein. I'm a professor in the School of Forest, Fisheries, and Geomatics Sciences. My specialty is ecotourism. I teach it, research it, and this is a short discussion of my extension program that deals with ecotourism. Now, like every good professor, I need to give you a definition, and this is a word that definitely needs a definition. If you ask 100 people, you'll probably get 100 different definitions of what they think this term means. So according to the International Ecotourism Society, ecotourism is responsible travel to natural areas that conserves the environment, sustains the well-being of the local people, and involves interpretation and education. Now there's other terms like nature-based tourism or just nature tourism that might not try to do all these things. That's the general term, and probably the more correct term when we're discussing people going out into natural areas for tourism. However, for ecotourism is where we're trying to do a lot. We're trying to benefit the visitors. We're trying to ensure responsible travel. We're trying to conserve ecosystems and improve people's way of life. So it's a hard thing to do. It's kind of like the word sustainability. It's hard to say what might be sustainable out there, but it's something we know we want to try. So when you hear nature tourism, what we want to do is apply good management, good planning, using science, to basically achieve the many things that ecotourism could potentially deliver. And this is a great state to try. We have, at least in 2023, we had 135 million visitors to the state. So a lot of people are coming. And yes, a lot of them are coming to beaches, which I would not consider really to be ecotourism. And they're also coming to amusement parks, which also is not ecotourism. But a lot of them are coming to natural areas, and they're making a massive impact, economic impact. In fact, the state estimated to be about $145 billion economic impact. Now, this is indirect and direct, so that means we're thinking of a lot of different industries are being involved, from gas stations to supermarkets to restaurants to bed and breakfasts and hotels to campgrounds. All those things are taking people's money, as well as the equipment that people buy, and then paying guides and entry permits and those things to get into nature. That's where all this money is coming, and you can see it has a lot bigger impact than a lot of people think it does. So that's why I'm here, and that's what this extension program is trying to do, is say we can do a lot more, and we can do it really well in Florida if we apply good information to the management and planning. So the goal of my extension program is realizing the benefits of providing ecotourism and sustainable recreation. These benefits can be to visitors for like physical fitness, stress relief, education. To communities, it can be non-economic benefits like sense of pride, sustaining their heritage, sustaining their environment, reasons why they live there. It can be to economies to help ensure we get the money from the small businesses all the way to the state. And then it can also be to the environment by putting a value on natural ecosystems that might not otherwise have a value. I'm trying to do this through two programs. The first program is ensuring sustainable recreation management. This is more on the ground type thinking, where we're going to try to help managers, which might be public managers as well as private landowners, to bring visitors onto their land and ensure the land is sustainable so the impacts don't become too high of a cost. It's also trying to figure out what opportunities to provide visitors. We're pretty good at providing traditional visitors with opportunities. Traditional would be maybe middle to upper income Caucasians, but there's a lot of diversity out there, and that diversity isn't coming to our natural areas. So minority users like African Americans and Latinos, older users, senior citizens, for example, have a harder time coming out to some of these areas. And maybe one of our hardest is families and kids. How do we get the kids away from the video games and the TVs and out into nature and find that something valuable? Because we know if they get out there, lots of value will come to them as well as to all the other entities that are helping make that happen. Program 2 is more of a business type program. We're trying to increase ecotourism business opportunities in counties. How can we get those small businesses going? We need to create partnerships. One business doesn't make it all happen. In fact, many times an outfitter will be working with a public agency to get visitors onto their land. So those need to work together. We can also bring community groups into it, like master naturalist programs and other volunteer groups to kind of help make all this happen. And then we want to make sure they use the best approaches to bringing visitors out. We can use great innovations like green technologies and low energy value type activities, like electric vehicles. And also we want to try to minimize waste, things like that. There's a lot of new innovations in helping tourism really be sustainable. So activities I'm doing. Natural Areas Training Academy is something I'm involved in, where we have a workshop specifically about managing visitors and volunteers. This is a very big program in the state that mostly land managers are part of, but it really can be anybody from the local governments to the federal governments, but we have private people take part as well as NGOs. I've written a variety of EDIS publications, an example of one on the right. I also have a lab that has a lot of links to scientific information as well as to a lot of these workshops. And then public agencies are also providing a lot of information. So here's an example of the Interagency Visitor Use Management. This is all our big federal agencies coming together to provide information on good, sustainable recreation. Program 2 is more of a business-focused one, so this is more traditional. So I have a good logic model that hopefully you extension agents are familiar with. We did this for Pinellas County to basically show how to get to these outcomes that can come by providing more ecotourism businesses out there. Also, there's groups like Florida Society for Ethical Ecotourism, which I'm a board member of, and it's working hard to certify good providers out there who are doing sustainable tourism in natural areas, and also provides a lot of education to help Florida businesses do ecotourism. And then finally, there's workshops and education materials in other states and other countries on basically bringing people into this. All right, so to wrap this up, I just want people to know ecotourism and sustainable recreation are actual things. There are professional disciplines that need good education to really reap the vast benefits that can come from it. I've tried to provide some resources out there for you already, but I'm always happy to work with people individually in their own counties, in their own situations, to see where we can make things work and really have nature-based tourism and recreation work for a variety of purposes, for a variety of benefits. All right, thank you.